Hey everyone, it's Nathus, and today I'm going to be opening another booster kit from the last winter, the third set from SolForge Fusion. So I've been having so much fun opening this set. I really want to open a lot more, more than I already have with me, so I'm probably going to have to get a lot more of this set because it's just been so much fun. I feel like it's the most excited I've been opening packs for a long time. So we'll start with our Aloyan. See if we get anything really sweet. I always try my best not to look at the back, because I want to be surprised if there's a Soulbind. I know some people like to know right away, but I like to kind of not really know if it is a Soulbind or not, so I could kind of be surprised if it is. All right. So we're starting with an Aloyan Monolith, an Aloyan Sage, Camouflage Captain, Lightforge Sentry, Metamind Overseer, Progressive Justicar, Soltar the Forge Master, Soulbind, Spirit Force Sentinel, Steel Eye Researcher, the Silver Arc, and we've got a Crux Cobalt. So it's got Synaptic Siphon at level 2, Mind Wipe at level 3, and Shattered Psyche at level 4. And also that Soltar makes an Honor Guard when it enters at levels 1 and 2, and it makes an Elite Honor Guard when it enters at level 3. So let's take a look at this list. See if we got anything that we're excited about here. So initially looking, one thing that just immediately stands out is we have Camouflage Captain, which can buff warriors. We do have 4 total warriors, so that's pretty nice in terms of our synergy there, especially if we could be playing a Camouflage Captain, buffing our Soltar, and our Honor Guard, which is technically a warrior as well. So that warrior synergy is pretty strong here. One thing that I'm missing, so we do obviously have a Metamind Overseer, but that's really our only minion, so we don't really have a lot of opportunity for the Steel Eye Researcher unless we pair this with a minion heavy deck. But we do have the ability to have that progressive, which cares about replacement. We have the Spirit Force Sentinel, which cares about replacement. We've got Lightforge Sentry, which helps buff your other creatures or give them armor. So overall, and also obviously we have a Aloyan Monolith and the Silver Arc, which are both exalts. So I feel like getting 2 exalts but no exalted creatures is a little disappointing, just because obviously you kind of really want to get that exalted bonus when you see some of those really strong exalted cards. But overall, I think this is a good one. I feel like out of the Alolan stuff I've opened, this is one that I would be more excited to play in sealed than anything else recently, just because there's a lot of just really strong cards here, and that Soltar with potentially getting 100 armor can be so good. So we'll see if this deck holds up to the rest of the sealed pool. But again, that 4 warrior Camouflage Captain, or sorry, technically 5, like I said, with the Elite Honor Guard can be really nice. And then upgrading stuff with that Alolan Monolith could also be really strong. So we'll see how the rest of this booster looks. But that's a really strong deck so far. One that I like a lot. Oops. Next, we're going to go with our Tempest. We got another Crasher. Another Crasher that synergizes very well with the Crasher ability. So we'll take a look at that in a sec. Once I could get this open. There we go. All right. So we're starting with an Abetting Crasher. So you can give one of your creatures in Breakthrough, or well, actually no. So the Crasher part. Okay, I got them mixed up before. So the last pack that I opened had a Crasher that also cared about if it had increased attack on another creature, but that was the modifier ability. So Abetting obviously gives your creatures attack in Breakthrough. The Crasher portion is if there's an enemy exalt in the slain, give it 5 attack. So it's still a strong one. It doesn't have that same synergy that I thought. So it was all about the keyword, which I would have to go back and double check what that keyword was that I'm missing. But yeah, so we're starting with the Abetting Crasher. Abetting Warstoker, double Abetting, not bad. Ancestral Staff. This is, I don't know if I've seen this one yet, so or seen this one in an opening yet. But you could deploy to destroy your other staves to deal damage to the opposing creatures, and you can move this to an adjacent lane by activating it whenever you play a creature in that lane, it gets attacked. So the staff is mobility instead of the creature having to move in. An Ardent Assassin, so that's a #1 Betrayer. That's pretty cool. Ashurian Flames, Charger Mammoth, Disintegrate, Elementalist Knight, Firestoker Ritual, Fleet Smash Fist, another Smash Fist, and a Sunder with Outwit at level 2, Reclaim at level 3, and Gathering Storm at level 4. All right. So this is another one of those decks that has a lot of ways to give your stuff increased attack. I feel like that's kind of a theme in Tempest for this set. Because we've got the Abetting Crasher and the Abetting Warstoker, so those both give breakthrough and attack. That's awesome. Charger Mammoth, aggressive breakthrough to one of your creatures. It's just, I love that card so much. Ardent Assassin, I feel like, is not a bad Betrayer in this list, just because of all the potential increased attack that you can have. So you can give it increased attack with the stealth, and then the next turn you can give it increased attack and breakthrough to continue pushing damage. The Flamestoker Ritual with the Ashurian Flames and the Disintegrate is 3 ways to remove. So overall, I like this list a lot. You have a lot of ways to remove creatures. You have a lot of ways to push damage. So already I think this outclasses Arloyan. And this is one that I feel like I'm going to be putting into the sealed pool if I were to be playing sealed here. But again, I said that last time, and the other 2 decks ended up, I think, kind of outweighing it. So we'll go to Tera next. Starting with a Cherished Shrine. This is a card that I don't know. I don't think I respect this card enough. I think this card's better than I give it credit for. But we'll have to see when I actually play it a little bit more, because I haven't played it enough yet. But basically, you can destroy your Cherished Shrines. You give a creature armor this turn, and then if you have 3 or more spirits in your banish pile, you can activate to give armor every turn. So this could just help something stick around. So I like this card. Cultivating Guardian, Dendrify, Druid's Chant, Everflow Eidolon, Ferocious Raptor, Hardshell Beetle, Prevailing Tuskmage. That's one of the best modifiers. Tremorsaur, Uprising Elk, and we've got a Nova with Nova's Might at level 2, Bounty at level 3, and United as 1 at level 4. All right, so the first thing I'm going to say before I get into this deck is it's missing Preserved Habitat, which makes me sad. So, Prevailing Tuskmage, which I guess, let me bring this closer to the camera. This card's really awesome because Prevailing gives Defender at the end of your turn, you upgrade a card and discard it, or at level 3 you could play a card for free. Whenever you upgrade a card, you give it 5 health. So at the earlier levels, you basically every turn upgrade a card and give this more health so it sticks around. So I think out of Prevailing, Tuskmage is the best modifier, or the best base creature for that modifier. Cultivating Guardian with it is just another way to upgrade, and you can kind of have that nice little synergy, especially if you have like a level 2 Prevailing Tuskmage with the Guardian out, so you could every turn play something for free. Overall, though, besides these 2 cards, I feel like the deck itself doesn't have a lot of synergy otherwise. Uprising is interesting in terms of if you give it attack, you give it extra, but the only real way to benefit off of that is from that Druid's Chant or from the Everflow Eidolon, which is not as insane. Tremorsaur is a card that I actually don't think I respected enough the first time that I saw it, but then when I played against it, I was like, wow, I have to remove this, because if they basically take damage from me, like a big turn, this is going to get huge. So Tremorsaur is a card that I think is a lot better than I initially gave it credit for. But overall, this deck has some strong pieces. I feel like it's just missing that prepared habitat, preserved habitat. Wow, I couldn't remember the card for a second. So that's one, basically, whenever you upgrade a card, you give attack and health. When you play, you upgrade a card. So I feel like that's like a really strong exalt that really goes well with Cultivating Guardian and Prevailing Tuskmage. But we didn't open it here. Beggars can't be choosers, though. So with, actually, the one thing I will mention is looking at that Tempest deck with Tremorsaur being like the pairing card would be pretty insane. So there's a lot of ways to give additional attack, and with the Tremorsaur basically having breakthrough and just you're taking damage, so it's going to deal more, and then you're going to give it additional attack. It's like this could get huge quick. So I feel like likely, unless there's a crazy Necrom half that we see, it would be Tera Tempest in terms of the sealed pool for me out of this deck, or this kit. So let's open the last, the Necrom. Caller of Souls is a card that I like a lot, so I think it's a good card to kind of start off with. All right. So we've got Caller of Souls, Crypt Haunter, Forsaken Mausoleum, again, Haunting Alluvion, Hungering Strike, Sacrifice Chamber, Shepherding Willow, that's pretty cool, #1 Betrayer, Stalking Direhound, that's a sick Direhound, Pyrrhic's Embrace, and a Zimis. That is with a Nyx, with Dead Winter at level 2, Raising Dead at level 3, and Army of the Damned at level 4. So let's look at this list. This is honestly also a solid list. I keep saying that, but we'll get into why. So right off the bat, the Crypt Haunter and Caller of Souls together are kind of nice because they can help you control the board over time. So Crypt Haunter is level 1 and 2 say when this is destroyed, the opponent destroys one of their creatures with decreased health. So basically, you can play the level 3, reanimate the other 2, and it just kind of helps you control the board. Caller of Souls lets you upgrade cards at levels 1 and 2, and at level 3, if you have 3 or more spirits in your banish pile, you can destroy this to destroy all enemy creatures. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spirits. So we're, no, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. I counted this as a spirit when it's not. We've got 4 spirits, so we have a lot of opportunity to activate here. We also have the Shepherding Willow, which synergizes off of spirits and gains you life. So I think that's pretty solid with both of those together. Sacrifice Chamber is a great card. If you could Sacrifice Chamber with Caller of Souls to destroy 5 creatures with the Caller of Souls, you could get the 5 triggers off Sacrifice Chamber, which would be insane. So I like this list a lot. And then Stalking Direhound. So Direhound basically, you can destroy a creature to reanimate a creature. So if you have a board of like Zimis, for example, like let's say you have a Zimis level 3, you could play your Stalking Direhound level 3, destroy your Zimis to reanimate it, and then bring back your Stalking Direhound level 2, destroy Zimis and bring back to level 1. And then you could have 3 Stalking Direhounds with aggressive and stealth, which can push a ton of damage out of nowhere, especially if you're off Forge. And then obviously Forsaken Mausoleum synergizes well with spirits, and we've got a lot of spirits here, which actually make this Forsaken Mausoleum exciting to use. And then we've got removal in the sake of Crypt Haunter's removal, Pyrrhic's Embrace's removal, Hungering Strike can be removal, and then Haunting Alluvion if we play it later in the game. So again, you can have the level 1 in your banish pile, bring it back with Stalking Direhound, and then get removal off of that alone, just giving --. So this deck is really strong, actually. The more I look at it, the more I think this is really good. So, I feel like because this has the ability to upgrade with Caller of Souls, I would very heavily consider playing this with that Tera list. I think that but that being said, let me look back at this Tempest list. I gotta skim through this real quick. So our Tera had a lot of upgrade stuff, but it was kind of slow, and our Tempest list had a lot of removal and a lot of aggressive. Ooh, that's tough. I feel like I would have to play this purple half though, because it's just the Direhound with the Crypt Haunter and Caller of Souls is really strong. I feel like for the sake of getting as much advantage out of the what's it called? That Cultivating Guardian being with Caller of Souls, like I would definitely want to try those together. I feel like I'll try those and then I'll regret not playing that Tempest list. So I don't know. This might be one of those like traps in terms of like, wow, I want to play this. Maybe I shouldn't have. But overall, this is a really exciting one. So let me know what you think would have been the right choice for a sealed pool out of this. Did I make the right decision by kind of getting tempted by this Necreum, or really should have I kept the Tera and Tempest together? So let me know in the comments what you think. But this was definitely another fun booster, and it's always exciting to open. Like, I feel like Direhound being a common is really exciting, so it feels like it's a rare, and it's one of those cards where it's like, wow, I'm so excited to open this every time. So definitely thank you for joining and watching me open this booster, and I'll see you guys next time.